Have you been feeling called to do something in your life? You know, that nudge that just won't go away? You know what I mean. An idea that comes to you while you're doing other things, maybe doing the dishes in the shower, and then maybe you forget about it, and then it comes back again. You dismiss it, but should you? In today's episode, I'm sharing with you how I listened to what was calling to me in 2020 and how today I'm celebrating its second anniversary. The second anniversary of the Choose Happy Affirmation card deck. So excited to share this moment with you. Come on in. It's time to feel inspired to follow that nudge. Hey girlfriend, do you want to connect back to yourself and what you really want for your life? Are you finally done with the limiting stories and fear that stands in your way? Is the negative talk so loud that it sabotages you and lowers your self-confidence? Hi, I'm Marie. For the majority of my life, I lived in negativity that was often labeled as depression. My breakthrough happened when I learned the power of choosing happy. This podcast will give you tangible ways to finally ditch the negativity, improve your self-esteem, and take action for what you really want for your life. No more guilt, no more people pleasing. Let's do this. We are choosing happy. Hello, how are you? I am so grateful you're here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying the Joyful June monthly calendar that came out last week. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying check marking each task as I get it done, and my daughter and I are actually participating in doing it together, so that's pretty cool. So I hope you're enjoying it. It came out through the email list in case you were looking for it, and if you do want to have it, it's not too late. You can always send me an email at marie@choosehappywithmarie.com, and I'd be happy to send one to you. The PDF, a downloadable version. Just reach out. For those of you who have been following the podcast for, a little while, you may be wondering, how did my backyard 25th wedding anniversary go? Well, it was great. There was more people than we had anticipated. We were 57 people in total in my small backyard. But you know what? We made do. The weather was so beautiful, and there was so much love in my backyard, surrounded with friends and family that could be there. And my son, he played as part of a live band that was in the backyard. And they performed the song played as the first dance in my wedding, and that truly touched me. And my husband and I, we danced on the backyard deck, and it was really, really nice. It brought back wonderful memories of our wedding day. Unfortunately, not everyone who had been at my wedding could be there due to distance or not being with us anymore. And an example of that is my parents. My parents have passed away since that time, and I remembered them that day, and I miss them very much at the party. They would have loved seeing their grandchildren host this party for us. I welcomed them in spirit and hoped they were with us in attendance. So that's what I believe. I hope they were there. So that's just it. That's why celebrating milestones matter. We're not guaranteed that we're all going to be together in the future. The present is all we have. I'm grateful. I'm grateful we made a priority to do this. And if you've been on the fence, if you should or shouldn't celebrate something special in your life, check out episode 33. Do you celebrate milestones in your life? 3 reasons why celebrating milestones is key to living a happy and healthy life. I hear this episode has motivated some of you to finally say yes for celebrating your milestones. So I'm happy to hear that episode really resonated with you. Thank you for letting me know. So no more waiting, no more sitting on the fence. Do it. Celebrate. By the way, I love hearing from you. You know you can connect with me anytime via email, on Instagram, or even on the Podbean app where I host the show. You can leave comments, so I would love to hear from you. Good comments, preferably. But I always take constructive feedback, so I'd love to hear from you. You can also leave a review on your favorite podcast app And I really appreciate when you do, because somehow when there are reviews, i.e. 5-star reviews, the app will suggest the show to others. So maybe that's how you found the show. Speaking of reviews, here's one from Megumi Maya. And my apologies if I have mispronounced that. Megumi Maya. What a gem of a podcast. I loved Marie's soothing voice and upbeat message about why affirmations are a great source of encouragement to oneself. Episode 1 was a perfect little 10-minute reminder to choose worthiness and happiness, and a great teaser about upcoming episodes. I'm an excited new follower of this podcast, and I highly recommend it for a positive message about how to support your self-love journey and add more happiness to your life. Thank you so much. That is a very beautiful review that truly touches my heart. If you haven't had the chance to listen to episode 1, that is titled, You Are Worthy of Happiness, I highly recommend it as you advance with choosing happy for living your life. In that episode, I talked about how we need to feel worthy of happiness first, before we can truly feel happy. If you're in a place where you've been wanting to be happy, like truly happy, but you just can't find the way forward, listen to episode 1. You'll also uncover the first affirmation on the Choose Happy journey. On to today's training. So, do you ever feel called to do something in your life? You know, it's that little nudge that just won't go away. Well, it leaves, then it comes back, and then, it just won't go away. Like years after years, it keeps coming back. Do you feel that nudge? Well, that's how I actually felt in 2020 during the pandemic. That was a really difficult time for so many of us with so much uncertainty. I remember, I think it was in March or April of 2020, I had a terrible dream. I don't normally remember my dreams, but this one I did. I was actually dying in my dream, which I know is a little morbid, and my apologies if that's triggering to you, but I just I felt I needed to share that detail because that was what was happening to me. And I couldn't see my family. If you remember at the beginning, the hospitals didn't know if it was contagious, and so we couldn't see our family. So I couldn't say goodbye. And I'm just lying there, and I remember thinking, I just couldn't go yet. I had unfinished business to do in this lifetime. I felt called to share with others how I finally learned how to choose happy, despite my childhood, all that childhood trauma and the limiting beliefs. Like I figured it out, and I just felt that if I was leaving without sharing, I don't know, that just didn't feel right for me. I'm a sharer. I do like sharing with others, so that's a core value for me. I remember waking up and telling my husband I needed to do something. I needed to find a way to share what worked for me with others. Affirmations are the foundation of how I finally learned how to choose happy. I had to rewrite a lot of negative self-talk that was just constantly in my head. Maybe it's in your head too. I had to reprogram limiting stories and beliefs, and some of them, they were imposed on me. Maybe you feel that way too. What we think about ourselves and what can be for our lives is what stands in our way. It's not others. Sure, there can be situations where there are others standing in our way, but the biggest obstacle, it's you. It's me. It's each of us. So I started sharing the affirmations. I created an Instagram account. That was like my first account. I shared it with some vulnerability. I just thought I'm going to put it out there, and I learned how to do the hashtags. If you're on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. And to my surprise, because I wasn't sure what to expect, I was just looking for a platform for sharing during this pandemic. I actually received positive feedback. I received comments about people wanting me to write more affirmations for specific situations. So I did that. And then when I received so much positive feedback, I'm like, okay, well, I should think about a product that I could create. And somehow, I'm a big believer of the universe and putting things in our path. An opportunity to be part of a business mastermind happened. And in this business mastermind, I was part of a podmate, but a group of podmates, and lovely ladies who to this day I consider as close friends because they helped empower me to create this product. I found someone within the mastermind who had done an affirmation card deck before, and she kindly shared her knowledge with me. So learning how to do the product was one thing. That actually was the easy part, even though I had to learn about graphic design and everything that has to do with printing a product. The hardest thing? Oh, that was finding the courage and vulnerability to follow through on this calling that I was feeling that just kept repeating itself. It started in a dream, but I kept thinking about it over and over again. I needed to trust the journey, to trust that things will figure themselves out. I will learn how to do the different things that I need to learn to create this product. And so that's how the Choose Happy Affirmation Card Deck was created. 2 years later, I am celebrating its second anniversary this month. It was printed 2 years ago. I have come to learn the secret to living is giving. And giving is exactly what I did when I found the courage and vulnerability to share the positive affirmations that I had written for myself that helped me. I shared it with others. I thank my virtual mentor, Tony Robbins. You'll often hear me refer to him because he truly is a mentor for me, virtually, of course. He doesn't know me. Today, and through my childhood, through my teenage years, he was there. He was there, and that's who I learned from the books, from the cassette tapes. Okay, I may be aging myself right now. But I'm so grateful to him for sharing this secret with me, and I share it with you here. And I'll just repeat it. The secret to living is giving. Here's a few highlights about the card deck in case you were curious. There are 30 affirmations. They're all originals written by me and that supported me in putting in place healthy habits in my life and rewriting the negative self-talk I had about different areas of my life. To date, so this is 2 years later, 600 card decks have been sold to date. They are located in various countries, which is so cool. They're in the United States, Hawaii, Canada, Japan, and Australia, and a few more countries. Just I don't have them all written down right now. And they are sold on the website, choosehappywithmarie.com. They are also sold, but only in 3 stores in the Ontario, Canada area. And I do that purposely because I don't want the card decks all over. And also because they are a limited edition product now. You may have heard me a few episodes back where I decided not to print them, not to reprint them, I should say. And instead, I'll pivot them to a digital product. And the reason I've chosen to do this is just to improve accessibility to them. Shipping costs, especially internationally, can be very costly. And so I thought if I created a digital product, it would improve access for you to them. So it's a summer project for me to design a digital version. So I'll let you know when they're ready and on the website. I'll find the time to do that. So if you are feeling called to do something, I invite you to follow through. My life has changed positively because I followed this calling. It wasn't always easy. I created this product and this business, Choose Happy, on the side. I do have a day job. I have a corporate job. I do this only on the evenings and on weekends. So it's not easy. I had to learn how to manage my time. But because I followed this calling, it introduced me to a whole new world. I met new people, amazing new people. people I wouldn't have met if I hadn't followed the calling. And look where it's taken me today, hosting a podcast. But that story, that's for another time. If negative self-talk is something you deal with on an ongoing basis, consider giving affirmations a try. On my website, you can download a free sample pack PDF of a few of the cards from the card deck. Give them a try and see if they are making a positive difference for you. And then you can purchase the card deck on the website, and the link will be in the show notes. Listen to what's calling you to do and give it an honest chance. Now, I'm assuming it's a good thing that this calling is doing. Okay, nothing negative. See where it takes you next. Trust the journey. Have courage. Be vulnerable. You may be pleasantly surprised on where you end up. Wishing you a wonderful week. Choosing happy. See you in the Facebook group. Cheers. I hope today's episode empowered you to choose happy as you live your upcoming week. If it did, consider forwarding it to a friend that may benefit from it as well. If you have 30 seconds, please leave a review for the show on your favorite podcast app. It warms my heart to hear the positive impact the show is making in your life. It takes vulnerability and courage for me to show up here every week. I do this because I feel called to share what I learned with others. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. You can purchase your very own Choose Happy affirmation card deck at www.choosehappywithmarie.com. Take good care and see you next week.